This is the moment.
The Bachelorette is back. And the power
I'm gonna fall in love.
is in Jen's hands.
And I'm gonna do it my way.
ABC tonight.
Everything about her is great.
I feel so special.
Jen's looking like a queen.
My men are very, very hot.
Someone call 911. You are looking so fired.
This is the beginning of a new era.
The Bachelorette. All new tonight, 8/7 Central on ABC. And stream on Hulu.
Savaged Unfiltered.
This program contains subject matter and language that may be disturbing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
There we go again. More technical problems. We live in the 21st century.
Savaged Unfiltered.
Not only should we not be supporting it, but we gave $30 billion. Did you know we gave $30 billion this week, Jen?
Your host, Michael Gardner. Like a Hellcat.
Guys, we had a great week this week. I want to thank Bob Lament and Miles over there on Static Radio for allowing me to come on the show this past Monday, which the episode has dropped yesterday. And you can catch that on iHeart, Spotify, all over the good places there in digital media. Also would like to thank Walt of B-Raw Podcasts, which I'm going to be going on the air this Friday evening with him. So that's going to be a interesting show. Looking really forward to talking with Walt. Had Walt on the show many, many moons ago here, but it's been a while since I actually talked to him. And this is a first for me going on his show. So I'm really looking forward to that. With that being said, guys, welcome to Savage Unfiltered season premiere of season 4. That's right, guys. The very first show of season 4. So that's a good thing, guys. Been on the airwaves here of podcasting for 4 fucking years. Great stuff, guys. Great stuff. Joseph's been on here. I don't know how many times. I got to count the episodes. I think, Joseph, this is like now 90 episodes, maybe. It's probably been about 90 already.
Wow, that many already? Yeah, they're adding up, huh?
Yeah, they're adding up. And Sauce, tried to get Sauce on here, but Sauce is prepping for his show. I'm going to be going on the Sauce Report shortly after this. So, but, it's okay. It's okay. I don't want to, overwhelm Sauce because Sauce is like Joseph. He goes on like thousands of podcast episodes a week. So, yeah, it gets tiring talking, doesn't it, Joseph?
Yeah. Next time you're on with Bob, tell him not to worry because it's not good for your health.
Oh, yeah.
Those who don't get the joke, his last name is Lament. But
yeah, Bob Lament. Yeah. But it was a good show, Joseph. We got to talk about my new passion of movie extras, which I have one coming up the second week of the January. Up in Milwaukee.
I heard that. I listened to the show. I heard you talking about it. I went online to look for some extra outfits up here in Michigan because there are some movies occasionally filmed in Michigan, and I couldn't find a good firm to try to sign up with.
Really? Why is that?
I don't know. There were a couple listed, but they were listed more so as advertising to get the movies business, not for you to sign up as an extra.
Oh, I mean? Yeah, I hear you.
Kind of one way, not two way.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I've only been in one movie, and it was a very low budget local Christian movie that was done. That you can't even find it. It died away.
Oh wow!
But I'd love to do that again. It's fun to do that.
Yeah, Yeah, it was fun. And guys, I had to look in the library here of Whit Joseph that's been with the show. He actually was on the show, the one of the very first series of the show back of April of 2022. So earlier this year, guys, on episode 244, conversation with the author of Terror Strikes, Joseph Leonard. That was like the very, very first show. So yeah, it's got 244, episode 244, and we're now on episode 3. This will be 369. So yeah.
Yep.
It's been a while. It's been a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we're talking about what today?
We're going to talk. It's Joseph. It's going to be like just honoring like different types of episodes. Kind of like, we're going to get into like past episodes, current episodes, future episodes.
Good. Yeah. My favorite ones were the deflection one we talked about, the Biden deflection.
Savaged, unfiltered.
And then the two non-political ones, the music and movie broadcasts we did. But I thought you said something about working out at the gym today. Was that something else, or is that Saus's program when you're going on later?
Oh, the gym. Oh, that one was last night. I had an episode last night on Jim Persona.
Okay.
Yeah.
I misunderstood. I thought that was going to be today. Yeah. Well, today being the anniversary makes more sense. We do like a greatest hits. Yeah, because I was going to say about the gym. I wanted to tell all the ladies how buff I am, which is butt ugly, flabby fucker.
Yeah.
I am too lazy for the gym. I'm 60 years old. I'm set in my ways. 5'8", 165 pounds. I could afford to lose maybe 30 pounds, but no. I was married to a fat woman though. Not pretty hot and tempting though. I mean, pretty horrible at tonguing, if you know what I mean.
Oh God, Joseph getting dark on the show. Yeah. Joseph, she's gonna be listening, man.
Yeah, these are jokes, people. These are jokes. Yeah, I was all prepared for the gym episode. I got goofed up, so at least I got my 2 jokes in.
Yeah. Well, just to let the listeners know, that gym episode that Joseph's referring to was yesterday's episode entitled "Gym Personas." With my good friend Joy up in New York City. She's the owner and founder of Be the Difference clothing brand, which
I remember her. I remember her from another episode. Yep.
Yeah. Well, she came on last night, and she actually was talking to me via telephone. She's driving on the Long Island Expressway, going to a gym to work out. So, yeah. But I want to go back to an episode, guys. One of my favorite episodes was back in October 12th of 2022, a couple months ago, episode 334, Uncut, Raw, and Uncensored with Nisha Jade. Now, that was the Australian Joseph from Australia. Remember that one?
I only vaguely. Yeah.
Yeah. She was she was brought into the show by a really good friend.
Yeah, and I've enjoyed the episodes with Pink Sunshine, and yeah, I remember vaguely her from Australia because I've done some podcasts in Australia's interviews for the book, and the time difference is one or the other of us have to be up early in the morning and the other late at night to make that work.
Yeah. Another one Guys, October 5th, 2022, episode 330. None of us have regretted not taking it. Now, this podcast episode was about Joseph and I discussing the hysteria back then of the left trying to push for an upcoming winter of COVID, which I think we predicted that a couple months ago because we are seeing a COVID repush now, Joseph.
Yeah. Well, they're certainly gonna keep trying it, right?
Yeah, they are certainly going to try it, and God willing, they don't. I hope not. Really, I hope not. Another one, episode 327. There's so many good ones, guys. I want to relive some of them, and hopefully I can get Joseph some of Joseph's. But episode 327 from September 26th of this year.
Yeah, you nailed it. Positive. It is nice
Yeah.
with all the garbage and raunch and stupidity on TikTok. To have something
26th of
positive
this year.
there.
Voice of Inspiration with Amy Sinha. Now, that's the voiceover from South Wales, United Kingdom. She's known for singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Savaged, unfiltered.
Which was also sung by late great legend Judy Garland. That was a damn good show. I love that one. I actually enjoyed it. Really good stuff. Got any favorites, Joseph, you want to bring in, or did you forget some of them?
Well, I'm trying to get on Instagram on my phone because, like I said before we started, I've got some sort of anchor error hanging on here, so I can't get into my Instagram on my system. So I'm trying to get in on my phone to look up that episode number of the movies one and the music one that we did. So frequently use Instagram on my phone that I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Oh yeah, Joseph's now talking about Joseph's talking about a bonus episode we did when I had the bonus series of the Savage Brief, which that bonus series, folks, has been put in the retirement session here on the show. You can still catch it in the library. That was dated back on September 21st of this year, which was entitled "The Savage Brief: The Music of the Eras."
I know when I hear that song, but it was a hit. He had a song called Bruce. And Bruce, yeah. To have an artist that shows he's got a bit of a sense of a humor, to me, shows a lot, because I used to work for Westin Hotels and Resorts. I got to meet a bunch of different celebrities, including,
So when I sit down and we talk about music, and when Mackenzie was part of the show, no longer part of the show. Sadly, her and I are no more, folks. We were actually dating, and it just wasn't working out. So that was actually when producer Mackenzie, she was a producer of the show, damn near destroyed the set by tripping over wires. And hello, where are you? Are you there?
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah. Okay, yeah, 334. I see that on my phone with Nisha, right? Oh, here we go. Movies. There it is. I finally found it. Number 314. Back on, I can't see the date. So, like I said, I don't normally use Instagram on my phone. I normally do everything on my laptop, but because of this error, I can't get at it. So, I'm trying get by on the phone, but yeah, I could see it's episode 314. I can't see what the date was. That was the one. That was a lot of fun too. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was dated back on September 9th, folks. Movies through the years of Hollywood. Joseph got into some of his great movies that he enjoyed over the course of the years. I got into some great movies of mine, and folks, that was a good hour conversation we had on just about movies.
I do want to mention a couple of movies out now. Spirited is a new twist on the Scrooge theme. It's pretty good. It's really good, actually. And then there's another one, Violent Night. And it is indeed violent, but it isn't real gory, and it's actually kind of funny and cute in places. I give that movie a B plus. But this other one is a twist on the Grinch. It's called The Mean One. I give it a D plus, but you may want to see it because it might become a cult classic film. It's about Cindy Lou who goes back. They can't call it Whoville due to copyright and trademark, I think, so they call it Newville. She goes back to confront the Grinch 20 years later. It is very low budget. The acting is reasonable considering the poor script and cinematography, but I give them a lot of credit for the twists and creativity to rework the Grinch this many years later, and it's called The Mean One. You can find it limited run in some theaters.
Oh, wow. Wow, I have to check that out. Really have to check that out. Actually, came across, guys, episode 306. Now, this was part 2, which Joseph was on this show here with me, with Noah Healy. You remember him, Joseph? He was the data scientist that we had. Yeah.
Be the controlling industry, the controlling administrative body for me is an attorney letter that's simply too expensive for me to invest in just to be able to talk to them.
Yeah, I understand,
so
but
it hasn't really gone very far.
Yes, what I'm saying is, like, if you were to try to bring it to the attention of even this new administration, President Joe Biden, do you think
I remember
President
that
Joe
one,
Biden
yes.
would? Yeah. Joseph was literally. I mean, he was. Oh God, he was like biting every question that he could possibly bite at this guy. 'Cause I think actually Joseph did enjoy that, didn't you, buddy? Because he's a former IT guy,
Yeah. Myself being a former IT guy, yeah. We also did a bonus episode on September 3rd. Is Biden turning into a dictator? I got that one in my Instagram links. That was a good one.
Yeah, that one was actually, it had a lot of views on that one. God, it was like almost like 30,000 views just on Spotify alone. That was a really good episode. Yeah, Troubling Times Facing America. Yeah.
Yeah, September 3rd, if you want to go back and look for that one. Because it's all psychological projection from the left. They call everybody else a Nazi because they are actually fascists. They want a one-party kind of rule like Nazi Germany had, and like the CCP currently has, and like North Korea currently has. So, everything they say is always psychological projection. And I can show you multiple National Socialist Deutschland Arbeiter Party, the Nazi Party platform planks that are in the current Democrat platform. The obvious ones are socialized medicine, which is not about your health. It's about
Michael Gardner, Unfiltered.
And the other obvious one is gun control. But there are like 18 other planks of the Nazi Party platform that are in the Democrat Party platform today. But yet they call us Nazis. So yeah, that episode is a good one to listen back to if you get the chance.
Yeah, and I want to piggyback off of what Joseph just said with the socialized medicine. Joseph, there's a major lawsuit going on in Oregon with that, where they're fighting like hell, man. Where voters, they want to pass a legally enforceable version of Medicare for all.
Yep.
God willing, I don't know.
Yeah, that would be a disaster. Medicare for all means Medicare for none. It means full on government controlled. And then, you thought Obamacare was bad. Wait till that gets in. Oh my God. Then there's no private care. There is absolutely no choice. The one size fits all, the rationing, because government always cuts corners when it comes to us. They spend lavishly on themselves. And of course, those in power, the ruling elite, will always have their own separate private health care. They never actually abide by the laws they pass for us little peasants.
Yeah. You're telling me. Telling me, guys. Another good one, episode 301, America in Decline. Now that, oh boy, I let Joseph have the almost the entire 2 hour and 30-minute show of that show. Oh my God.
Yeah, but back to the healthcare. On October 23rd on my Instagram, I posted, so I don't know what episode. It doesn't show the episode number. I just have the generic Savage Unfiltered logo on it. But remember the one with Lance Hilsinger and his Build a Better Bridge social policy for the 21st century? And we kind of got into welfare and socialized medicine.
That was a rather interesting show. Even though Joseph, I mean, you were disagreeing with him on a lot of different things, but you did get his memo a little bit on what he was trying to say.
Yeah. I think he's an earnest person, and he's a social worker, so he's a product of the system. You can't expect somebody like that whose paycheck is relied on keeping such a system going to really want to scuttle the whole system. He was looking for some reforms that would help, but we need to scuttle the whole damn thing.
Oh yeah, I agree with you on that. We do have to do that. Guys, I told you this was going to be an episode covering it all. Since I've had Joseph on, and I'm going to get into some episodes even prior to Joseph, just to show you the transitioning of different types of personalities I've had on the show with Joseph.
So it's like AJ and PJ.
There you go.
BJ before Joseph and after Joseph.
Yeah, you said BJ. I didn't say BJ.
Yeah.
No one wants a BJ. Well, yeah. I like BJ, but not by Joseph. I
guess we should call it PJ, prior Joseph. Yeah.
There you go.
Joseph, after Joseph and prior to Joseph.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Or people might get excited.
The fuck kind of shit is that, huh?
Well, the OnlyFans model I'm having on Friday, she's gonna get really excited when she hears this. She's like, "Oh boy, I'm gonna be in a real treat then for Michael. He wants blowjobs now." Okay, great. Joseph, you needed a cup of coffee after that. I know you did, buddy. This was episode 333, guys. How cool is this? With the not so cool, supposedly comedian Brian Reltz there up in.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And then the crickets from the Therapy Twins.
Yeah, I remember that episode. Oh my God. Yeah, Brian practically was putting everybody to sleep, and then all the technical issues we had with the Therapy Twins. But it ended up being okay as an episode.
Well, we had we had Joseph literally asking producer Mackenzie when she was part of the show to dance on the show. And that's the end of it. We had our good friend. Yeah, then we had our good friend David Preacher Man, known as Fraser Chronicles from his show, save the show after it was almost nearly butchered from the Therapy Twins. But yeah, that was a good.
That last hour, he salvaged the entire 3 hours with that last hour. Yeah. So if he can bungle through the first couple hours, there's some good points in the first couple hours. But yeah, that last hour is especially worth listening to.
Yeah. Joseph actually wasn't part of this show, but I did a show back on September 24th, episode 326, battling our own world of sanity, Wajah Hassan. Now, Washia Hassan, I had to say that 3 times to make sure I got his name correctly.
I'm glad you had to pronounce it, not me.
Yeah, Wajat Hassan was a former Pakistani turned European. That's how he explains it on the show. He was born in Pakistan, and then he moved to England, and then about a couple years ago, settled in America. So he's only been an American citizen for like about maybe 3 years, and he got into some really, really interesting and various points of his life, where he studied a lot of fields of the technical background. He was a field service engineer in England, to even a stand-up comedian at points of his life here in America. And then over 20 years as a union actor doing voiceover narration and commercials for well-known TV companies. And then he also was a hiker that climbed to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro. That one I can't pronounce. In 2006.
Kilimanjaro.
Yeah, which is Africa's highest mountain. Joseph.
Yeah, there was. What was it? Was it Kilimanjaro where that soccer team crashed? And there was a movie about it, and they had to cannibalize each other to survive. I don't remember if that was the mountain or not. But I know there's a movie called K2 about it, but I don't remember what that movie is about that mountain. Just probably, who may have been the first to climb it or something. Who knows?
Yeah. Let's not forget about episode 339, where Joseph and I relived Joe Biden now endorsing a Barbie pooch transgender activist. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I remember that. Screw the pooch episode. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm telling you. And then fast forward, where we went back to Savage Brief, which again, folks, is a retired show on this podcast, no longer, but still available in the library, where we talked to a woman that wrote the book Crazy Foolish Robots, known as Adina Magnalgana. I couldn't pronounce that. Joseph, you had a hard time pronouncing her too.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I just didn't pronounce it. Like, hey, you, it's your turn to speak.
Yeah. Which, folks, you can catch her as a co-host to the podcast, the Big Sci-Fi Podcasts, which they get into a lot of sci-fi stuff, both fiction and nonfiction. Really good stuff. Another good one. Oh boy. Episode 335. Joseph wasn't on this one, but I talked to my good friend from Static Radio, known as Bob Lament, where we got into the whole persona of Manny the Mailman. Radio, or you pretty much just did something on your own?
I would say a little bit. I did not listen to Howard Stern until, oddly enough, after I had started doing the show, because he wasn't on terrestrial radio where I was at. So he was in New York, and I would hear stuff.
Where Manny the Mailman came from, which actually goes back to the original roots of the show, Static Radio. When they first came on the radio, before podcasting was podcasting, back in 1999, guys. Long audio radio program on the internet. So really good stuff. Oh boy, I can go on and on. Another good one. Oh boy. Sasha got into episode 331, October 7th. Mama from Scooby-Doo, now considered a lesbian. Yeah.
I remember listening to that episode. I know it's as if we didn't really kind of know she was all along, and that Shaggy was just her beard. But now it's official, and all these other like Marvel stars all of a sudden have to come out. You just say the reboot of Superman as gay that flopped big time. If you want a gay superhero, create a new character. Don't fuck with the old ones.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, don't fuck with the old ones, guys. Stop trying to politicize comics out there. Comics are comics, politics are politics. Leave it alone.
And Disney, what's Iker? Jay Iker? Eichel, the old Disney CEO that's now back as the new CEO, and then said they would go less woke, but then came out and said something about, again, the non-existent "Don't Say Gay" bill in Florida. So Disney's going to stay woke just to avoid them. Their latest film, I forget what it's called. I could picture the poster in my head, but it's garbage. It's something about a weird forest or something like that. It's garbage. It flopped big time at the box office. Don't see it. Definitely don't let your kids watch it.
God, speaking of woke, guys, we actually spoke on the issue of woke. Now, this was a few weeks before Joseph came into the show, guys. April 13th, episode 238. Woke Churches of America. We talk about the woke agenda injecting their poisonous venom into today's churches in America.
Savaged, unfiltered.
A very heated one, let's just say. Another good one. Oh God. Move over, Jack. Here comes Cracker Jill, episode 234 on April 7th. I discussed the new snack series being added to the old brand of, remember, Cracker Jack brand, Joseph?
Yeah. Oh, I just looked it up. The new Disney movie is Strange World. And of course, Avatar, which is all about climate scam and we're destroying the planet, blah, 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 blah. Humans are evil. Humans are destructive. So I have zero intention of seeing the new Avatar.
Oh yeah. It's I don't want to see the new Avatar either. If it's going to be that woke bullshit, Joseph, I'm going to skip it. I'm not going to spend my...
Exactly. I mean, I did see the original Avatar, and to be honest, and I'm not shading my opinion just because of Disney being woke. Like, I saw the Lightyear movie, and a lot of people had boycotted it because of the gay scene in that. But I thought the new Lightyear was okay, even though it didn't have Tim Allen's voice. But the original Avatar, I thought, was pretty mediocre. I mean, the special effects were fantastic. That's the only reason I saw it was to see the special effects. It was way too long. And again, it was woke agenda garbage back then, too. I walked out of the theater shaking my head. We're destroying this planet, so now we go to another planet to destroy it, too. Give me a break. Tired of all this crap.
Yeah, you ain't lying. You ain't lying. Guys, I want to relive episode 201, dated on February 7th, a conversation with General Jerry from USFF. The conversation I had with General Jay Hill, which is known as, his first name is Jerry, but General Jay Hill, talking on the possibility of a fourth stimulus check coming out soon. And we got into some big names of the conservative American media of podcasts being attacked on their shows for voicing out why a fourth stimulus check at that point of our time was not necessary.
What day was that? I need to go back and look at that, listen to that one myself.
Yeah.
Was that a while ago? Because I don't remember hearing anything about another stimulus check.
Oh, yeah. That was dated on February 7th of this year.
Okay. So, yeah, that was quite a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
while the COVID crap was still going. Yeah.
To a good one here with a friend of the show that's no longer part of the show. He's doing other lines of work. Dated on February 1st of this year, Unfiltered with the Rooster. He was a podcaster that kind of got out of podcasting, and we talked about the crisis in the political world. We recapped the origins of the Joe Rogan story, and we also got into the Canadian truckers' personal health freedom when they were, doing that convoy earlier this year. So, really good show. Highly suggest you get into that. January 27th, guys, episode 195. Collective Cole, our friend Collective Cole. She's been on a lot of good shows of this show here. I'm going to try to get her back on here. She's on a different type of schedule now. But episode 196 got into the continued saga of the Joe Rogan, Neil Young story when they were battling it out earlier this year. And we got into some tensions of the Russia, Ukraine, U.S. When they first were getting into it in the beginning of this year. So highly suggest you check that one out. Oh God. Let me fast forward here, Joseph. I got to get to the low 100s because there was a couple good ones, and then we're gonna close it out right after that.
Everybody, is episode 1 still up?
Oh yeah, you want to episode 1? Let me go to it. Yeah, episode 1. Hold on. It's a very large library, folks. Hold on.
I still have not listened to episode 1, but I remember you talking. We were talking on another show about how far the show has come since your first episode. So I and others probably should go back and listen so we could probably laugh quite a bit at episode 1. And it's probably low quality it was probably.
Oh God, it was very low quality, guys. Let me just say, before I transitioned over to Anchor, okay, I was with iTunes and I was using different types of equipment. So the original episode that came out with the first pilot episode was actually dated on iTunes, which I deactivated iTunes. I'm no longer on iTunes. Now, iTunes you had to pay for back in the day, Joseph. Yeah, it wasn't, we come a long way in podcasting. Now everything is free, more or less. You don't have to pay for podcasting. But the very first pilot episode, when I was known as the Kitchen Angle podcast, was dated on January 5th of 2019. Now, when you go onto my library here on Savaged Unfiltered, you're going to see a new timestamp dated February 13th, 2020. Joseph, that's when I converted it, the audio file into the Anchor file, if that makes sense. So,
yeah.
And the first episode was titled "Our Crazy Society of America," and I sounded like this, guys.
A lot of ahs and ums and dramatic radio silence pauses.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much.
It was a myth that terrorism stopped during COVID. Unfortunately, mainstream media opted to prioritize pandemic hysteria over promoting all news. Terrorism continues. Simply hoping that it doesn't affect you is not a strategy. The new book, Terror Strikes, coming soon to a city near you, featured on The Author Show, is now available in paperback from bookstores, online, or as an ebook exclusively through Amazon Kindle. Terror Strikes, coming soon to a city near you by Joseph M. Leonard. Order today.
Yeah. Oh, man, it was good. That was what I had.
Everybody's got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah. I was about to say that's when I had my buddy Ryan on the show. My buddy Ryan from New Jersey. I went to school with this guy, and we were talking a lot about politics, and he was actually the one that gave me the idea to start a podcast. So, hat tip to Ryan, buddy. Thank you very much, man. And you can catch him where he actually didn't come into the show until episode. What would that be? Let me go. All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Where the hell is it? 13, 14.
What is this? Sesame Street? Are you the count?
16.
One.
No, I got to count.
Episode.
I got to count. I got to count, guys, because I didn't start putting the episode
number. Yeah, you didn't put the number in right away. It was one of the learning curve items. You had to learn that. Yeah.
So Ryan didn't come into the show until like, what was that, episode 15, 16, and that was dated April 30th of 2020. Special guest Ryan to the show. Oh man, we got into a lot of good stuff. 43-minute show, really good show on that one. Two more guys, and then close it out here. I'm trying to give you the early ones because, like you could see, there's so much a transition between when I first came on until like right now. Because Joseph, I had to learn the transition phase. I was always a behind the scenes guy in radio, like even going back to the early 2000s, but never really the priest, you know.
It's a whole different animal. I've always been politically active since high school, so and spoke on conservative politics. So I'd always been a speaker, and I was always called into radio shows, so I was used to speaking. And I want to remember before we go to make sure. Thank you so much, because people have asked me over the years, why don't I start a podcast? I decided to write books instead. So thank you for having me on Mondays and Wednesdays to be a part of your program. I greatly appreciate it.
And yeah, I greatly appreciate you coming on, you know, and sharing the content as well. You know, so much great content came out of the show, folks, with Joseph, and he's such a big activist here, you know, in the political field, not only on the show, but Joseph is, I mean, he is circling his appearance and his presence all over the digital world of podcasting. We're going to get into that right before we closed out, because Joseph was on a show just recently, and I want to kind of get some insights on that, because I seen the video podcasting on it. Very, very, very great production, if I may add. But I'm going to get into that in a little bit, guys. But I want to do two more here. I want to give a hat tip to my cousin Derek, known as Lizdexia 82 out on Twitch.
Yeah, infecting people left and right. That's not the situation. Yeah, it's not what we're dealing with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and if you don't have the mask, you know, the people that are so into this whole mask crap, you know, they look at you like, you know, there's something wrong with you. Like, oh my God, you're not wearing a mask, dude. What the hell's wrong? You're gonna kill everybody. I'm like, what? Come on, enough with that crap. You know, I mean, we
don't do it at work. I haven't been affected personally by it. In the past year with the warehouses that I work
the gaming world of Twitch, which I've tried several times. It's not for us guys. It's more for gamers. It's not for there is a content creating section on Twitch, but it doesn't get a lot of a lot of hits, Joseph. Yeah. It's more of a gaming thing.
Once you go back to restream, isn't Twitch an option to automatically stream to?
Yeah, we can we have that option.
Do it. Yeah, it can't hurt to do it. Yeah, and try to get some eyeballs at Twitch or ears to then come over to Anchor or to the restream video broadcasts. Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah. Well, when we were on Twitch, one of the reasons, folks, I kind of got off that is I'm not gonna lie. They were sending me hate mail on Joseph. No, I'm just joking. No.
Hey, you owe me a few more. I've given you quite a few digs over the episode. So
I'm telling you.
Friends, it's all in good fun, and he owes me a few more.
Yeah, I hear you. But yeah, guys, check that episode out, February 3rd, 2021. My special co-host Derek, which is my real life cousin, to plug him in. And I know you, pal. I know you listen to the show every single day. You're constantly harassing me over, Facebook, and you call me up every single day. Mike, when is the next episode of you with Joseph or Sauce, folks? Is because, he's more of a gamer. He doesn't really dig into politics. And hey, it's Keach, I mean, whatever floats his boat,
Right.
But,
right. Well, you're probably due
But
for, since we did movies and music, you're probably due for a game episode and have them on. I don't
yeah,
do games much really anymore. I've got an old Dell laptop sitting over there that's got games on it. I used to love to do Sim City and Sim Tower, all those sim games and stuff like that. But I'm just never in the mood to dig them up and do them anymore for whatever reason. I guess I went through a fad or a phase, but I really love the sim stuff because, like we discussed in my the movies episode, my favorite movie is The 13th Floor, which is to me a more realistic version of the Matrix movies. It came out before the Matrix quadology now. It was a trilogy, it's a quadology now. But yeah, the 13th Floor is kind of like if you envision virtual reality goggles that you could put on and go into your own SimCity cities. I mean, that reality is around the corner. And
oh yeah,
13th Floor came out in 1999. In the next 10, 20 years, you'll be able to do that and interact with your Sims.
oh yeah, oh yeah. Yeah. Two more guys, and then we're done. Episode 312. Really another. I have a lot of favorites, guys. I know you're like, wow, Mike has like 35 favorites. Yeah, there is a lot of favorites here. And this one was episode 312, dated just a couple months ago, September 7th. Coffee shop talk, finding small talk and poems, and everyday life with Branch Islay, which Branch Islay, guys, is an author and a writer of many, many, many books. Some New York best-selling books in the world of poems. He writes a lot of short poems and small talk of conversations in his books. So
yeah, and what I don't know whether I should ask, but what episodes inspired the book, or do we not want to give spoilers?
No. He wouldn't mind if I say this because he loves free plugins. He told me, and I found that out actually by him. He wrote many of his books are based on a lot of his early, middle, and current lifestyles that he lives by.
Yeah, no, I mean your book. Your show,
Oh,
your book.
I thought Joyce was talking about Branch there for a minute. I'm like,
No, I want to promote your book.
oh, that's good. I thought you were promoting Branch. I'm like, hey, okay. Shit, you forgot about Mike. It's okay. Anyway, so the question was, what made me?
Which episodes inspired your coming book? Which you, of course, need to give out the title to again, or unless you don't want to give any spoilers away.
Oh no,
I'll give the book.
Yeah, I'll give you some spoilers, guys. What made me come out with a book was, for one, talking to Joseph here for many, many episodes, which was a big inspiration of writing the book to begin with. I do want to give you that, Joseph. For many, many years, I've thought about writing a book. I just didn't know where to start. Joseph actually, folks, gave me the entire pilot to write the first book, and by hearing, some of his, I guess you could say maybe like tactics or, maybe some of his ways of beginning to write a book.
Yeah, well, that's my next book, How to Write a Book and Get It Published. Hopefully we'll be out on the 15th or the 16th, no later than the 19th, How to Write a Book and Get It Published. Right, some of the hints, tips, tricks, techniques that I dropped on you over the years are now in a book. So hopefully others in this audience can decide to write a book. It can be fiction, can be nonfiction, it can be based on your career. Mine come to me in my dreams. You may have a vivid dream that you could turn into a novel.
Yeah. And, some of my book, Joseph, It covers a lot from, I want to say like February of 2020 all the way up to current time now. So a lot of what you see in the book that's coming out the end of this month, which is titled America's Political Warfare, Our Modern Civil War. A lot of that book a lot of the chapters are referencing a lot of what we discussed on the show. Of course, I threw some extra stuff in the book, but a lot of it is some of the manuscripts, some of the scripts that you see off, the digital scripts, off the shows.
Yeah.
I had to give
transcripts. Yeah. That's one of my hints in my book, exactly, that I had shared with Michael in the past. If you have a podcast or if you have blogs, you've got a ready-made book. You could take your blogs or your podcasts, have them transcribed, clean them up, and then add stuff. But each topic of a blog or a podcast could be one of your chapters.
Yeah. And, of course, folks, I mentioned a lot of it that you hear on the show is in the book. And, Joseph, there's a lot of credits in the book. I give a lot of credits to some personalities that I've had on the show, some authors, comedians, even you and Sas. Credit to Joseph. Yes.
Is it going to have an index? The first thing I want to do is open the back for the index and see what pages I'm mentioned on. Yeah.
I didn't put an index. Maybe that's the rookie part of me. There was no index.
Yeah, that kind of a book with that many different mentions. Yeah, it should have an index. Maybe your guy can throw one together real quick.
Maybe, I don't know, but I do. I know I do have until the 16th to make any corrections. So maybe we'll put that in there.
Yeah, but go through, write down the names and what pages they exist on, and throw an index in there.
But here's one thing, Joseph. I did this on purpose because I actually had a suggestion by a friend of mine that's also an author, as well as Joseph here. A lot of what you see, you're going to be like, Mike, the chapters are all out of whack. I did that on purpose. It's to enlighten you. I have some of the chapters are literally in the beginning, but some of the content I talked about on the show is like way earlier than what it's presented in the book. So I have like Biden's craziness that's in the beginning. And then I skip that, and then I go to like Black Lives Matter, and then I go to another part of that, and I skip it. But I'm doing it on purpose. It's to intrigue the listeners. So
that's good. That's a hint, trick, and technique that I mentioned in how to write a book and get it published, like I did in Terror Strikes Coming Soon to a City Near You. It's not chronological, and it's meant not to be, so that people don't anticipate things.
Yeah. See, I do listen. I was listening. I might not have the huge amount of patience with somebody, but I do listen to somebody. So, guys, the very last episode, the best episode so far that is getting the amount of attention on this library. Episode 308, dated August 29th, 2022. And this is when I had actually, was Sas on this show? I got to remember. Yes, Sas was on this show. Yeah. I had a gentleman by the name of, that goes by the name of Gary Dragon Roberts, entitled Life and Righteousness. Now, folks, myself, Sas, and even Jimmy the Rant, when he was part of this show, which Jimmy is now going into his other lines of work, which he's coming out with a podcast. So I want to wish him the well and everything, good luck to him and everything. But on that show, folks, we had a gentleman on this show that literally played us for a fool. And he was a man traveling the country by bicycle for homeless veterans. And Mr. Roberts shared his story on what drove him to start this mission, where he wanted to raise money to provide these homeless vets with tiny homes and land. Folks, he was trying to ask for $150,000 on his GoFundMe page. Well, what happened was, and I'll say this on the air, and I'm not really scared to say this, the man, shortly after this, Joseph, now Joseph is probably hearing this for the very first time. The man was actually placed under arrest from a police department in Ohio, where they caught up with him on fraudulent activity with a nonprofit 303C organization known as GoFundMe. Yeah.
Yeah, there are quite a few scams on there. That's why a lot of people use, if you're Christian, there's Give, Send, Go. That's an alternative, and it's a Christian site. So, and there's a third one. I don't remember it, but yeah, Give, Send, Go I've used before.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I don't want to place anything bad on somebody, but when somebody comes out like that and they're trying to come up with money, to such as the homeless, and it's really not going to the homeless, and it's really going to themselves. Yeah, they should be in jail. And hey, there is a disclaimer on every podcast, folks. When you come on a podcast, you're given your permission to share your story, and it is now live on the internet, and it becomes a library. I had a couple of people on the show, which I won't mention on names, where I've said this to Joseph off the air here. We had a gentleman that wrote a book that mentioned his grandson and stuff.
Yeah,
and yeah,
that was a very good episode. I love that episode. And
yeah,
right. His daughter, his estranged daughter, is trying to smear him. Well, from what my perspective is, she's trying to smear him. I mean, we don't get her side, and I know you've invited her to come on to give her side, and she won't. So there's a reason for that.
Yeah, I think we know the reason, Joseph. I reached out.
But the guy has every right to want to and try to be involved in his grandson's life. And if she won't let him, he can be involved via that book. Eventually, he will come to know him through that book, and hopefully later in life, in his adult years, he will reach out to his granddaddy.
Yeah, even the daughter that reached out to me, she sent me a voice message through the through the network here on Anchor,
Yeah,
and basically said,
you shared that with me. Yep.
Yeah, please take down the episode and this and that. And I wasn't aware of my father writing a book, and he used me for subject matter, and I was like, whoa. Yeah. So we tried to reach out to her, even Shaky here on the show now, Shaky part of the show. He's a good friend. I've known Shaky for, almost 30 years now. We went to school together, and he lives down here in Florida. And Shaky had told me, Mike, I just put out an email to her last week again, seeing if we can get her on. Joseph, I really want to talk to her. I want to get her side.
That would be interesting. And then that mayor too that refuses to come on to attack the guy with the rake.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know Shaky, so don't take this personal. But with that nickname, it sounds like he's one of the eighth dwarf that got away from Snow White or something.
Well, he's not going to mind me saying this, but Shaky drinks a lot of beer, so he gets shaky. Shaky. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Shaky's an alcoholic, but we love him anyway. But yeah, that episode 308 with Gary Dragon Roberts, and then the one we just mentioned with the exchange daughter with the gentleman that we had that wrote a book about his grandson. Those two were basically almost neck and neck. I know 308 got about it's climbing every single day. Joseph, I still have people listening to episodes from when you were first on. I mean, that's how far back people go. Even you'd be amazed by some of the people. I mean, they'll tune into an episode that was aired 3 years ago, 2 years ago. It's crazy.
Yeah, somebody who just discovers you now and then looks back at the catalog and oh, hey, that looks interesting, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, 308 right now currently is at I'm looking at it right now, the statistics. Okay, here it is. Okay, so 308 right now is at 265,000 views, which is also considered downloads. They either view it or they download it. It's considered the same type of thing through our podcasting industry. And then right after that is the episode I done with the gentleman, what we just mentioned with the exchange daughter and his grandson. And that was about 10, about 10 listens shy of 308. So they're literally neck and neck, Joseph. So, but don't worry, Joseph. We have some high viewer count with you on the show. So, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I certainly appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, the very first episode that Joseph was on, the very first episode that I mentioned on the show today, 213,000 views. So yeah, that's a lot, Joseph.
Yeah, that was when I was just first on. I reached out to you about the book, and we talked about the book only, right?
Yeah, we talked about Joseph's book, what made him start the book, and we got a little bit of his political background, and yeah, I was blown away. I mean, that's when I was living up in Georgia. I was in Atlanta then. So
right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the Freedom State now.
Yeah,
so
we talked the other day about Georgia and the red clay when I was in Noonan.
Yeah. So I want to close it out here, but I want to get Joseph's recap. Joseph, I seen the show with you and that gentleman. I forgot the damn podcast that you were on, but the guy that you were just on, he had presented on a TV screen.
Yeah, the Douglas Coleman show. Coleman.
That's it.
Like Gary Coleman. Remember what you talk about, Willis guy? Douglas Coleman show. Yeah, which he has a music background mainly. So it was another, different kind of a show beyond. We talked about my dad being the creator, the founder, leader of the Polka Kings, which you can still find their 3 albums. And if you go to terrorstrikes.info under the More tab, there's a page dedicated to my dad and the Polka Kings there that you can check out. So yeah, it was, I like to go on these different ones. Like the other day too, I'm waiting. The episode isn't released yet, but we recorded last week, Drew Salisbury with the Treats show, where we talked about frozen custard and different treats and how pizza relates to terrorism in my book.
Yeah, it does, and I just want to give a hat tip to Joseph here, guys. Now Joseph's book has been featured on 24/7 press release. Was dated for a best-selling author, Joseph M. Leonard, and I'm going to read this as I'm saying it on the show, which I like to give credit to where it's due, because I do. I'm about that. A lot of people think I'm so savage and I'm an asshole. I am, guys. Don't get me wrong. I am an asshole. But I am a nice asshole. I'm probably the nicest asshole that you'll ever meet. But anyway, released here on 24/7 press release, June 29th of this year. Best-selling author Joseph M. Leonard, who predicted overturning of Roe v. Wade, an historic fiction novel, Terror Strikes, issues a statement. And you do issue that statement, Joseph. And you can read that, folks, if you go to www.247pressrelease.com. And then you'll see the actual it's a huge header. If you want me to give it, I'll give you the header real quick. We'll put it in the show notes. Again, it's www.247pressrelease.com/press release /492388 / best-selling author Joseph M. Leonard dash who dash predicted dash overturning dash of dash. Folks, I'm not going through the whole thing, but we'll put it in the show notes.
They're certainly not going to remember it. Yeah.
We'll put it in the show notes. So many different things. Joseph's been on WNB Network, West.com. Oh, boy. So many. Between the lines.tv. Joseph, you're all over the freaking place, man.
I sure try to be, right? I mean, like I say in How to Write a Book and Get Published, in the marketing part of the book, when the book's done, you're not. Nothing sells itself. You know your book. You know your book the best. You've got to be your own promoter and promote it anywhere and everywhere you can.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's some crazy stuff here. Here's something here, Joseph. I never mentioned on the show. I'll give you another hot tip. Podbean. You look at Joseph and everything just pops up. You can go to Podbean. It says season 9, episode 8. Meet Joseph M. Leonard, the author of Terror Strikes, when he was on Moving Mountains with Sasha. You remember that one, Joseph?
Yep. Oh, I remember them all. I got a huge stack of paper on the end of my couch. Every show I'm on, I'd print out a sheet and keep it in case if I need to funnel back through my notes.
Damn it, Joseph. You're even on Roku. Jeez, I got to get to Roku. My God, man.
Yeah. I'm on Amazon, Fire Stick, and Roku. Yes.
Yeah. And then, oh boy, it goes on. I love books.substack.com, Digital Journal, Zencaster, all over the place, guys. I mean, I'm looking at like at least, let's see, 10, 11, 15 different search engines, Joseph.
Yeah, you must be using DuckDuckGo because Google suppresses quite a bit of my results. But if you do look for me on DuckDuckGo, don't forget to put the M in there, Joseph M. Leonard, and no O in Leonard. It looks like Leonard, but it is not. It's Leonard without the O, Joseph M. Leonard. And yeah, there are quite a few results, but if you leave out the middle initial, you'll get results from Joseph Leonard, or he might pronounce it Leonard. I don't know. I've never met him. I've reached out to him. He never got back to me. A North Carolina author. So.
Oh, well, you know what I'll do, Joseph? I'm going to have Shaky do this if it's okay with you. Because Shaky can pull up anybody. The guy is like, even though he drinks a lot amount of beer, I mean, the man is phenomenal. He can pick up that. This is the gentleman that actually reached out to the damn OnlyFans model. I'm like, how the fuck did you get this woman? How did you get this woman?
Hey, you know what would be fun is to have two Joseph Leonards on the show at the same time.
I don't know, Joseph. You're more than welcome to join me, man, if you want to talk to her. But, oh, boy, she might give you a Hummer over the digital airwaves, man. Joseph, we're going to talk a lot of sex this Friday.
Yeah, well, like I said, you got to have Uncle Herpes back on that show.
Well, he's coming on. He's coming on in his full getup, guys. Yeah, thank you, Joseph, because I have to close it out here. With a major announcement, guys. During the first to second week of January, Uncle Herpes will be back on Savage Unfiltered in his full video getup of his clown suit and his makeup. That's right, guys. Uncle Herpes back on the show. And this is the same gentleman. Yes, that scared away Tommy Nation.
Yeah. Yeah. He made Tommy Nation blush and eventually hung up. But yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. It's like if anybody used to watch the old Greg Gutfeld Red Eye show, you'll remember Guar I forget what the band name is, but Guar, who dresses up as an alien, as lead singer of a thrash metal band, used to come on Red Eye in his garb every once in a while, and those were really wild episodes.
Oh yeah, really good stuff. But guys, I really hope you enjoyed the very first. Thank you, Shaky. Punch me again while you're at it. Thank you for joining the very first episode. There we go. I did that on purpose. I had to get a blotch in there. Thank you for joining the very first episode of Season 4. Well, it's really not the first episode. We're actually now doing episode 369. 69, right? 369.
That's the OnlyFans girl should have been on that one, right?
Yeah, she'll be doing 370 actually. So, yeah. But yeah, guys, 369, season 4. This is the season premiere now of season 4. Yes, of Savaged Unfiltered. From the Kitchen Angle podcast to Patriot Angle podcast to now Savaged Unfiltered. I think it fits as well. I really do. I want to give thanks to many people that made this show where it's at, where credit is due. I want to thank Soslin Timison for being part of this show. I want to thank which you can reach Sos on his show, the Sos Report. I also want to thank Joseph M. Leonard, the author and upcoming author of now 2 books. The first one entitled Terror Strikes Coming to a City Near You, which you can find on Amazon.com. New York best-selling author, by the way. And also the book of How to Write a Book and Get It Published, which will be out very, 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 very soon. Within the next week, right, Joseph?
Yeah. Hopefully the 15th. That's the date we're shooting for, but no later than the 19th then. And I want to give out a shout out to Sos and thank him. I'm supposed to record with him tomorrow morning for his show. Yeah,
that's 2 parts I heard. Part 1 and part 2. Yeah, good stuff. And remember, guys, keep it savaged. We'll see you later, guys.